Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property. Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was gonna say I am getting up there and age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to.
Good morning. Today I want you to know that you're unstoppable. Nobody is capable of stopping you. This is not a motivational video. This is just the truth. You're listening to this right now. Just know that you're unstoppable. And I am so grateful to be able to give you such important information today that will help you in your journey. So the truth is, when I go about life through a logical standpoint and a logical perspective. So that means everything that I tell you today is something that you can obtain, something that you can shoot towards, something that you can definitely do if you set your mind to it. And that is exactly what I've done. I don't tell you things that I have not done in my life, and then things that I'm also striving for as well. So as we get into this, understand that you are unstoppable. The only person that can stop you is you. And where am I going to begin today? I'm going to begin with this right here, your mentality or my mentality. Let me take you back. So in every situation that I've been in, there are situations where you can be reasonably upset, right? It's justifiable. But that's all depending on the person. It all depends on your preference and how you feel compared to how someone else would have taken it. I was just talking about building capacity with a good friend of mine today. And as we were talking, something dawned on me. You know, you can go after more money. You can go after everything that your heart desires, or you can really focus on what it is that you want out of life. So when I say your heart desires, money can be an attachment for that. But then also going after everything that you want out of life may not correlate with that money right now. So in fact, I was just offered about $20,000 more than what I'm currently making. At some point in your life, you will be offered a ton more money than what you're currently making. This does happen. Some people choose to stay. Most may choose to go. And that's just the truth. I actually like the people that I work with, not just my managers, because I actually do like my managers, but I also like the people that I work with, the people, right? The associates as well, my team members, my team lead, everyone. And that is a difficult thing to say sometimes. Now, it's not as difficult in the state that I'm in. I will tell you that a lot of people are just good people overall. And I don't really get into like negative confrontations or conflicts or anything of that nature. Maybe it's that I'm just a better person now because everybody is just so happy when they're around me, or maybe they're just so great and that makes me great as well. But I want to say that you're unstoppable. Don't allow anyone to get under your skin. Don't allow anyone to push you down, and then focus on the main goal. Keep the main thing the main thing. So I have a lot of people who are actually dealing with credit card debt and student loans. So today we're going to focus on that. If this is not that video for you, then go ahead and watch one of my other videos on investing. But today we're going to focus on student loans and credit card debt and how we can tackle that. So the biggest thing for me, when I was a student, I was working while in school. We all understand that most of the people watching this channel is no longer in college. And so you have your student loans, you're out here in the working world, you got bills, you got responsibilities. But one thing I know you also have is fun. Everyone says that they're not having fun. Everyone says that they're not living their best life. But when you look at their bank account, they got Netflix, they got Hulu, they got restaurant dates, they have the nicest, newest, shiny car, they got an iPhone that's not paid off. They got so many other elaborate things that even I, as a savvy investor and business person, may not have. Right? If I'm going to buy an iPhone, there's no payments involved. If I'm going to buy several things that don't require a subscription, then there won't be any payments involved. It's not to say that I'm a baller, but I just understand that I'd rather not have all my money going into things that really don't matter, right? A phone does not matter. As much as people want to argue their case and things of that nature, listen, you can get a phone for $150 that works just fine. I even had a friend that argued with me that he could not get into a used vehicle. He always needed a brand new car. This is also a friend who was working in a car dealership selling to people. And I was telling him, listen, you're the one being sold to. How do you not see this? Even millionaires, the average millionaire buys a 3-year-old car. And understand that, again, just like in my other videos, I always talk about history, right? History repeating itself. I want to be a part of the good side of history, and I'm going to do the things that work. That's stock market, that's real estate, right? And that's not buying a car that's that's younger than 3 years, especially if I want to do what millionaires do, right? So again, following those processes is what is going to help you to drive something that you actually like, drive something that's reliable, doesn't really break down, check the Carfax, and then also if it's still within that 3-year warranty and that transmission, guess what? You have some additional coverage while driving a car that has already depreciated in value significantly. And then most of the depreciation hits within the 5th year. So you've already at least shielded yourself from the first 3 years of depreciation, which is pretty good. So again, saving yourself money. I can't imagine. Most of the people here are in their 40s and in their 30s, and some even in their late to early 20s. Imagine always buying a new car every single year or every 2 to 3 years. How is that going to affect your investments? When we talk about compound interest, you got to understand that the more money you put in towards your investments right now, it will compound and grow for you exponentially. That dividends is going to continue to kick in. And in order for you to maximize that opportunity, you need to have that cash working in your favor. So the same way that someone would buy cigarettes all the time, not saying you shouldn't have your smokes, but you should also be investing the same into your investments. So this is how I look at it. This is actually how I looked at it. When people were buying cigarettes at whatever age it was legal, maybe 18, that's when I started putting that same pack a week money into my investments as if I was a smoker, right? So that was my way of saying I don't smoke, but let me invest smoking money into my investment account. And then I had bigger goals. My phone bill, the same amount that I pay in my phone bill, I should earn in dividends. Then I had bigger goals. I should earn $100 a month in dividends. Then I had bigger goals. I should earn $500 a month in dividends. And then I had bigger goals. I should earn $1,000 a month in dividends. And so those goals continue to, grow as you earn more money, as you have more money, and as that money tends to compound for you to the point where the amount that you invest eventually will not even equate to what is being reinvested for you through your own accounts. So how do we tackle this debt so that we free up our money in order to invest, right? That's the main thing. So if you did not, or if you did work through school, but just didn't have enough money to pay off those student loans, first thing we want to do is ensure that we're current. So if you get a bonus at your new job because you have a degree, master's, bachelor's, or even PhD, you'll probably get a bonus. If you're not afraid of, intense labor, the military also offers bonuses depending on how long you're looking to sign up. Now, if it's student loan debt, you can actually do a 2-year contract. Don't forget that I told you that. You can actually do a 2-year contract with the military. One is going to pay off all your debts, and you may not get a bonus, but that will wipe off, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in student loans. By the time you finish out the military, just from the basic training and everything else, if you have nothing tying you down, guess what? Now you have you was a specialist. You probably got promoted once to an E5, and you're walking out of the military with about $25,000 to $30,000 because you were able to eat on campus. You didn't fall for it like all the other people and buy new cars and this and that like everybody else does. Imagine falling for the same stories in the military that everybody else fell for. When I joined the military, you hear the stories like, oh, kids are going to buy a brand new car with the new money that they had that they've never seen before in their life. Because when you're in basic training, you don't see all that money in your account, right? You're too focused calling your parents, doing this and that. As soon as you get a little bit of free time, you're buying food, you're enjoying luxuries. I saw people buying $50,000 vehicles on Army bases. You can't even leave the Army base, my guy. You leave once a month, but you have a $50,000 car parked on an Army base. And you know what else? These car dealers are hitting you over the head immensely. When I say immensely, I'm talking about 19% interest rates. They know that you're 18, 19, 20 years old and can't afford this vehicle. They know, and they still allowed you to do it. And in fact, there are people who are sponsoring some of these people to buy cars, which is even more unbelievable. You want to do a business and spend money on a military brat that really doesn't know what they're doing just yet? Insane. Absolutely insane. It was a bad decision, bad financial decision, but maybe they just had money to blow and they wanted to teach the kid, a life lesson. Don't buy what you can't afford. And you know what? I told them to not buy the vehicle. They still did. And now where is the vehicle? Not with them. And you know what? This is not the first time, not with just the military, but in general. So that's a quick way to get rid of student loans in 2 years' time. Because again, you just join, boom, they wipe it away, and you leave out with $30,000. If you don't believe that you can earn $30,000 in 2 years and keep it, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. If you can't keep $30,000 in 2 years, it might be beneficial for you to join the Army, because not only will you get $30,000 afterwards, but if you save correctly, and that's just on the low end. I saved even more, but you can eliminate your student loans right away. Now, that was one of the things that I disliked when I joined the Army. It's not the Army's fault, but I paid off my student loans before I joined, so that was like, oh my goodness. I was so upset because now all these people are getting a benefit that I couldn't get. So take advantage of that if that's something that you're interested in. Don't be afraid of the debt. They'll offer you a 3-year contract. Tell them that you'll only accept a 2-year, and boom, guess what? You're in. And if you decide you want to re-up and renew, you can go ahead and do that as well. Another way to get out of student loans, because the military is not for everybody, is to start having a budget, building a budget. I'm going to start doing calls with people now where if you want to go over your budget, the first 10 people will actually be free. And I'm not joking, I'm not lying to you. If you're one of the first 10, I'll go ahead and do a budget for you. I've already done one. I've done one free budget. I've done one paid budget. So I'm going to count it as there are 9 free budgets left. So if you're watching this video, you can comment down below that you want a budget done, or you can reach out to me directly on any of my social medias. Of course, we'll get your budget done. Now, if it's just budgeting, I don't see how that could be more than $70 that you would pay to have somebody go over your budget and make a plan for you. Now, I can promise you, as long as you have a job and you're within the top 20% of what you've been earning, there's a way in your budget for you to get out from under. I can promise you that. I can absolutely promise you that. And if you're able to pay $70, I can definitely promise you that, because you have discretional income, and therefore we can get you cleared up. Now, I also want to state that I'm not your financial advisor, just an average guy on YouTube who has educated himself and does exactly what he tells others to do or suggests for others to do. But again, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just giving you life information. And then you do your own research to understand what is the best path for you. The one thing that has disappointed me though is, I will say, is that sometimes I do give a budget. Some people will follow it for a while, which is great. They'll do great, and then they'll just digress. Maybe they get into a relationship. Maybe life happens and an AC breaks, whatever the case may be, or a roof caves in. We have to have, these situations handled, insurance coverage, all these things in place in order to support the lifestyles that you want to live. And if you can't do that, then you need to decrease the lifestyle. That's just how life should work. So if you have the capabilities of moving in with a friend, roommate, family member to pay off debt, that is also a great strategy. But what I will say about that is, if you're moving in and you're not tunnel vision, if you're not focused on actually paying the debt, if you start to relax and the money that should have been going towards rent is just going towards things that nobody actually understands where it's going, and you're not making any progress, you're just wasting other people's time and you're wasting yours as well. There are people who literally don't pay for anything whatsoever. Their whole life is taken care of, from the car that they drive to the house that they live in to the food that they eat. And guess what? They're still broke. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Like, what are you spending the money on? I don't even know. It's like maybe they're just gambling at this point, because I don't ask, number one, but then I really just don't know. Where is your money going? So again, you have to ask yourself that question. Where is my money going, and how do I get a hold of this situation? Now, if you have credit card debt, I will tell you that this is actually the easiest debt to get rid of, because student loans, they're not capped. But credit cards, they are capped, and it's capped for a reason. It's based on your income, right? It's based on your income and your ability to pay off debt. So guess what? When you have credit card debt, they know that you have the ability to pay X, Y, and Z off based on your income, and therefore you should be able to pay off any credit card debt within 6 to 7 years at the most, even if you maxed out every single card that you've ever owned. You can pay it off within 6 to 7 years. You can use the Dave Ramsey snowball method. Shout out to him. Or you can use different types of strategies, whatever you think is going to work. Dave Ramsey claims that his method has been the best in getting people out of debt. But if you want to pay off the highest interest rate debt first, that is also a great strategy to utilize, as long as you stick to it and you're fundamentally tunnel visioned once again to pay that thing off. As for me, I don't like any type of debt, even if it's 0%. So for example, I might actually buy an iPhone on 0% financing, and I've done that twice. After the first month, I literally had to pay off the whole balance, because I just hated seeing that I have a revolving debt that I don't need to have. The only revolving debts I have is utilities, internet, and my phone bill. It's not really debt, but it's a occurring bill that I must pay. And now I have Crunchyroll, because I'm an anime fanatic, and I've increased my income significantly through investments, and therefore it just made sense to finally indulge in a $10 expense and provide that to my family as a thank you. But with that being said, yes, if you have credit card debt, rejoice, because you can pay that off within 6 to 7 years. And it's all about formulating a budget, sacrificing, and then hitting things hard. But that does not mean that you have to struggle for 6 to 7 years because you have credit card debt. Guess what? If you have credit card debt and you pay off 2 cars in the first year, which I've done plenty of budgets, and I noticed that most people can pay off at least 2 credit cards in the first year. Guess what? Now you have 2 credit cards less to pay off. You cut them up, you stop using them, and then in year 2, you might be able to pay off 3 credit cards. Now, let's say you had 7 credit cards, you only have 2 left. At this point, you can put half of that additional money towards paying off the other credit cards. And now you have a little bit of discretionary income. So after 2 years, you can start to live life a little bit. Maybe take yourself out to a nice restaurant once a month. And now, at least you're living better than you were 2 years ago because you can take yourself out to eat once a month. But you're also hitting your credit cards much harder than you would have had you not paid off 5 credit cards already. And so even in that year, you might still pay off another 1 or 2 credit cards while eating out once a month. And by the time you pay off those other 2, you've now paid off 7 credit cards. You can now spend a little bit more while attacking those few remaining credit cards if you have any left. I don't really see a lot of people in credit card debt with more than 7 credit cards. But if you happen to have more than that, again, now you have that extra income to tackle it. So it doesn't mean just because it may take 6 to 7 years to pay off all of your credit card debt that you must struggle forever. I would suggest at least doing 2 full years of credit card payments and sacrificing as you pay off 2 to 3, or even I would say a minimum of 4 to 5 credit cards before you start to pull back a little bit, because that will free up so much more income for you that you can now, live life a little bit. And then when you do start to spend money again, it should all be through your debit card, and it should all be budgeted, or start to put it in envelopes, spending money in an envelope, because if you can't trust yourself to spend money without going into the red, just put your spending money in an envelope at the beginning of every month. If it's $50, if it's $100, put it in an envelope, and then the rest of your money goes towards bills. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I have some new content coming out every single day at 8 a.m. daily. Make sure you're looking for content that best suits you and your needs. If you're not in debt and you know somebody that is, go ahead and share this video with them, because they may need to hear this. They may need to know that they're not alone and that they're blessed, all right? And you are unstoppable. So I like you all, love you all, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.